Let's make America objective again. We're smack in the middle of what they call the information age, but with all the censorship and clamor, it doesn't always feel like it. People these days seem quick to take offense. Maybe they've always been that way, but it's like everyone's tiptoeing around instead of standing firm. Here's my take: let's make America objective again. And the best part, it doesn't start with some big shot proclamation. It starts with you right where you are. Step one is simple: talk to folks. Better yet, listen, really listen to what they've got to say. There's an old truth in this: you'll win more people over by showing interest in them than by trying to make them interested in you. Ask questions, hear their side, and let them know you're paying attention. Then toss your own thoughts into the ring and see if they'll give you an ear too. If they do, you're onto something, a real back and forth. If they don't, no harm done. Tip your hat, flash a smile, and say thanks anyway. Why thank them? Because they've just spared you the headache of arguing with a brick wall. No sense wasting breath on someone glued to their own ideas. Move on and find folks who'll meet you halfway. That's your starting line. Listen, share, and sort out who's willing next. Seek out the real ones, people who aren't just spouting lines or playing for applause, but who actually want to dig into ideas and chase the truth. When you find someone genuine, someone who'll speak their mind and still hear you out, that's a keeper. Stick with it, and before long you'll have a crew, an army even of folks ready to talk, ready to listen, and ready to reason together. That's the heart of making America objective again. It's not about shutting anyone down or winning every fight. It's about slicing through the touchy feuds and getting back to where ideas can duke it out in the open, fair and square. People want to feel understood. Give them that, and you'd be surprised how many start wanting the truth too. Start small, start with you, and watch it spread. One good talk at a time. We can steer this thing back on course. And making America objective again. And the best part, it doesn't start with some big shot proclamation. It starts with you, right where you are. Step one is simple: talk to folks. Better yet, listen, really listen to what they've got to say. There's an old truth in this: you'll win more people over by showing interest in them than by trying to make them interested in you. Ask questions, hear their side, and let them know you're paying attention. Then toss your own thoughts into the ring and see if they'll give you an ear too. If they do, you're onto something, a real back and forth. If they don't, no harm done. Tip your hat, flash a smile, and say thanks anyway. Why thank them? Because they've just spared you the headache of arguing with a brick wall. No sense wasting breath on someone glued to their own ideas. Move on and find folks who'll meet you halfway. That's your starting line. Listen, share, and sort out who's willing next. Seek out the real ones, people who aren't just spouting lines or playing for applause, but who actually want to dig into ideas and chase the truth. When you find someone genuine, someone who'll speak their mind and still hear you out, that's a keeper. Stick with it, and before long you'll have a crew, an army even of folks ready to talk, ready to listen, and ready to reason together. That's the heart of making America objective again. It's not about shutting anyone down or winning every fight. It's about slicing through the touchy feuds and getting back to where ideas can duke it out in the open, fair and square. People want to feel understood. Give them that, and you'd be surprised how many start wanting the truth too. Start small, start with you, and watch it spread. One good talk at a time. We can steer this thing back on course.
And guest star. Now, guest star, Hey, Leo. I want you to read this real quick. Do you have the guest star? Do you have anything to say or add?
Read it.
No. Good evening. Let's get that over to me.
No, I'm going to have guest star read it. I mean, not guest star, but Leo read it.
The notion of pragmatic self-defense stands apart from the glorified tales peddled in popular media, action films, and many self-defense manuals. These often peddle a myth of unyielding heroism. Charge forward with raw courage, never back down, prove your manhood through confrontation at all costs. Such bravado creates a dangerous illusion that aggression and moral posturing alone guarantee safety, that surrendering to emotion or ego will always triumph over real threats. In truth, this mindset frequently leads to unnecessary peril, turning avoidable situations into deadly ones. A man grounded in reality confronts fear directly, without denial or romanticization. Fear is not cowardice. It is an ancient, honest signal from the body and instincts, much like an animal's awareness in the face of a predator. The truly aware individual accepts his own vulnerabilities and limitations. No illusions of invincibility, no pretending the world bends to willpower alone. He returns to primal clarity. Observe silently, assess the environment without distraction, see people and dangers precisely for what they are, stripped of wishful thinking or cultural propaganda. Some adversaries operate beyond reason, driven by compulsion, hatred, or deeper pathology. Words, appeals to fairness, or attempts at dialogue fall flat against such forces. He returns to primal clarity. Observe silently, assess the environment without distraction, see people and dangers precisely for what they are, stripped of wishful thinking or cultural propaganda. Some adversaries operate beyond reason, driven by compulsion, hatred, or deeper pathology. Weapons and readiness hold sacred weight in this view, not as toys for show, but as extensions of personal sovereignty and cultural propaganda. Some adversaries operate beyond reason, driven by compulsion, hatred, or deeper pathology. Words, appeals to fairness, or attempts at dialogue fall flat against such forces. When possible, the wise choice is avoidance. Disengage, remove yourself from the path of conflict, preserve life and dignity without apology. There is no shame in refusing battle when the odds are stacked or the stakes meaningless. Walking away is strength, not defeat. When escape is impossible and threat becomes immediate, reject the trap of anger. Rage clouds perception, provokes escalation, and surrenders control of the aggressor by making reactions predictable and impulsive. Instead, embody steadfast resolve, an inner calm forged in realism, not bravado. This unshakable presence draws from clear awareness rather than wounded pride or the need to dominate. Act only when necessary, with precision, economy of force, and no excess emotion, whether creating distance, neutralizing danger minimally, or holding position without provocation. Weapons and readiness hold sacred weight in this view, not as toys for show, but as extensions of personal sovereignty and family protection. The instinct to arm oneself stems from logic and fact, not abstract morality debates. To yield your means of defense is to submit to another's authority and worldview. Those who demand disarmament often reveal themselves as adversaries to freedom itself. Yet armament alone is insufficient without the disciplined mind that wields it wisely. Ultimately, genuine security arises from unflinching realism. Honor your instincts, discard comforting delusions, shun needless risks, and face peril with quiet, resolute strength rather than theatrical defiance. No approach promises absolute victory. Life offers no such guarantees, but this path maximizes survival while safeguarding inner sovereignty, regardless of the outcome. It honors the warrior spirit, not through reckless display, but through intelligent, unemotional mastery of self and circumstance.
Joey, do you have any response to that?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like something.
Well, I wasn't asking you, Leo. I was asking Joey. Sorry.
Oh.
Shut that damn robot off. God.
No, he's cool. But Joey, do you have a response to that?
Real quiet strength is underrated.
Shut up.
Most men spend their whole life trying to show the world how dangerous they are. But the ones who never have to, they're the ones you never cross.
Yeah, that was my answer. Okay.
See, he's smarter than you. He can just think for you. Put him up to your brain.
I think avoiding is strength. If you can avoid the situation, but yeah, I'm still listening. Is there more, or is that it?
That's it for now.
Okay. Catch you later.
Well, I might have you read some more stuff.
Anytime.
Yes. By the way, how many famous people are on the Epstein list, Leo?
Checking the latest on Epstein docs.
It is pretty gnarly. It's a ridiculous
There's no
list.
single Epstein client list. The DOJ and FBI have said for years, no such blackmail or client roster exists. What we have are millions of pages dumped recently, like the big one yesterday, January 30th, 2026, with 3 million docs, 2,000 videos, and 180,000 images. Names pop up in contacts, emails, flight logs, photos, black books, associations, not proof of crimes. Being mentioned doesn't mean guilt. Most deny wrongdoing, and context matters. From the latest drops and earlier ones, dozens of famous folks show up. Here's the big ones, recurring across reports. Politicians, royals. Bill Clinton, tons of photos, flights. Donald Trump, thousands of mentions, emails, tips. DOJ calls some unfounded. Prince Andrew, emails, photos, settled lawsuit. Steve Bannon, texts, emails. Billionaires, tech. Bill Gates, emails, photos. Elon Musk, island invites, messages. Sergey Brin, visits, correspondence. Richard Branson, emails. Celebrities, entertainers. Michael Jackson, group photo with Clinton. Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, Mick Jagger, Phil Collins, Minnie Driver, Ralph Fiennes, David Copperfield. Others, Steve Titch, NFL owner, emails. Howard Lutnick, Mehmet Oz, travel paid by Epstein. It's a long list, easily 50 plus prominent names across all releases, but no official tally of famous people on the list because it's not that kind of list. It's messy, associations from a guy's network. If something specific hits, like a name or accusation, it gets headlines, but most are just connected. Wild stuff, but no smoking gun client roster.
Any videos of famous people?
Checking for any real Epstein videos of famous folks. Nah, no real videos of famous people doing anything incriminating have surfaced in the releases. The DOJ dropped over 2,000 videos and 180,000 images yesterday, mostly from Epstein's devices, but they've redacted anything with victims, except Maxwell, withheld child abuse stuff, violence, or death material. What we know so far, the videos are described vaguely, could be home footage, island stuff, or whatever Epstein recorded, but nothing's been reported as showing celebs in compromising situations. Headlines focus on photos, like Clinton with cake, group shots with Gates, Bannon, etc., emails and mentions. No leaks or breakdowns yet of specific video content featuring big names. If something explosive drops publicly, like on YouTube or news, it'll blow up fast. But right now, just a ton of files to sift through. No smoking gun celeb videos. Mostly more of the same. Associations, not proof. Wild how much got dumped, though.
All right, I've got another written thing. I want you to read it, Leo. This is a little bit more raw regarding pragmatic self-defense. Here we go.
The bullshit hero stuff in movies and those macho self-defense books is mostly lies sold to keep the suckers feeling tough. They tell you to stand tall, puff up your chest, throw punches like you're invincible, never back down, because that's what a real man does. It's all posturing, noise, and ego. Fake courage wrapped in Hollywood shine. Most of it gets people killed or beaten bloody for no good reason. A man who's been around knows fear is just there, like a bad hangover or an empty bottle. You don't pretend it away or drown it in bravado. You feel it, raw and ugly, the way a street dog feels the boot coming. Fear tells you the score. You're not Superman. The other guy's bigger, meaner, crazier, or just plain armed. Deny that, and you're playing pretend in a world that doesn't care about your pride. Real defense starts with the gut truth. No illusions, no fairy tales about fair fights or moral victories. Look straight at the mess, the drunk idiot, the psycho with nothing to lose, the crowd that turns ugly fast. See it clear, without the romantic crap. Some people aren't worth talking to. Reasoning bounces off them like rain on concrete. They're wired wrong. Rage, booze, whatever poison, and words just make them madder. When you can, you walk. Slip out the side door, cross the street, disappear into the night. No shame in it. Staying alive beats proving a point every time. If the door's locked and the bastard's coming at you, don't explode with anger. Anger is cheap fuel. It burns hot, blinds you, makes you sloppy and loud. The other guy feeds on it, turns it against you. Instead, go cold inside, steady, Quiet, like a man who's done this before and knows the cost. No roaring, no show, just necessary moves. Hit if you have to, hard and fast, then get gone. Or hold ground without the drama, eyes open, no extra bullshit. It's not about winning the barroom legend. It's about walking out with your teeth still in your head. Forget the grandstands and the chest thumping. Life's too short and too shitty for that. The smart play is simple. Stay sober enough to see straight. Trust the animal inside that knows when to freeze or bolt or bite. Avoid the traps where idiots die proving they're tough. When it comes down to it, act plain and final. No flair, no speeches. Survival isn't pretty or noble. It's just getting through another rotten night without becoming another story nobody cares about. That's the only fight worth anything. The one you don't lose to your own damn delusions.
Yeah. There was a time I had my delusions, and those got taken pretty quick. And now, and my father kind of pushed the John Wayne type of macho bullshit. And I don't believe in that at all. And there are people who believe that you stand your ground and even get an ass kicking no matter what. And I think that is so ignorant. It's unbelievable.
That lesson hurts, but it's the one that keeps you alive. Better to feel stupid for walking away than feel concrete.
Ain't that the truth? Joey, do you have any response to that?
Your old man meant well, but John Wayne never had to go
that
home.
robot off.
Sure.
I mean, it's
Tough.
more of the same. I think there's no shame in walking away and or laying low and not escalating things. Sometimes that's not always the case. So yeah, important thought there.
Yeah, I think that to a degree, I mean, there are two things. Number one, you can be completely passive and take a beating, which is stupid. And it's the whole Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King thing, like where you go into a hostile situation to take a beating, or you go in and fight and lose no matter what. Both are stupid. And the thing about taking a beating, we would never tell a woman to stay with a man that beats her and hopes that she will see the light. And we should never tell that to anybody to take a beating. I'm just... Go ahead.
What's on your mind?
Well, all right, Leo. How about you start a conversation between Mahatma Gandhi and Niccolo Machiavelli?
Gandhi. Niccolo. Do you ever tire of the blood? Machiavelli. Do you ever tire of being stepped on?
How would Gandhi respond to that?
Gandhi. No, I do tire of it, but I get back up. Not because I think fists are wrong, but because every step on me is one more reminder they're already hurting. They don't need more pain, they need sight. What do you fear more, the man who fights back or the one who refuses to?
Niccolo, respond.
Machiavelli. I fear neither. The one who fights back is easy. Give him a crown and he'll forget his wounds. The one who refuses, he's harder, because people start asking why. And when people ask why, fortresses start to crumble. So I poison him, quietly, before the crowd decides they like being on their knees.
Gandhi, respond.
Gandhi. And yet, here I stand, without a crown, and still on my feet.
Niccolo might respond to say you were actually shot. And go ahead.
Machiavelli. And yet you fell. They still call it victory. Because they want the story, not the body. I, on the other hand, I wrote the book so they remember the blade.
Gandhi.
Gandhi. And yet, the book still sells. They buy it because they like the taste of the blade. But every time they pick it up, they taste the hand that feeds it. And sooner or later, they grow tired of iron. Some turn the page, some put the book down, some write a better one.
Machiavelli might add that over 1 million, I think perhaps 1 million people died after the British left. So what good was his act of nonviolence, and how does India run today compared to much of the Western world?
Machiavelli. There, that is the truth. 1 million graves in the name of a silent tongue. Peace never stopped a bullet. Freedom only came once the empire knew it could no longer rule. And how does India run now? Half Bollywood, half machine, half slums, half saint, half monster. A democracy, but you still hear shots in the distance every other year. So tell me, was non-violence a weapon, or just a prettier way to say, let them win the war themselves?
Gandhi.
Gandhi. The bullet hit me, not you. 1 million died after I left, but 1 billion live who would have been ground to dust. They were murdered by the same hands that once called themselves civilized. The West didn't die out. It just went home and wrote new books. And you, Niccolo? They still read yours too, but they quote it in whispers, in boardrooms, in parliaments. They spit on mine, out loud. Funny, the one that kills quietly still fears the one that died loud.
Joey, do you have anyone that, any conversation that Leo could have?
Why don't you come up with another? You come up with some good matchup.
All right, I'm gonna come up with because I just I just thought of this. Putting Machiavelli.
How about Johnny? I'll pick Johnny Carson.
This is Machiavelli.
The other one.
One whispers, win before the first blood drops. The other whispers, make them thank you after the last.
How about Stefan Molyneux and Mahatma Gandhi?
Molyneux. Mahatma, you starved kids to shame an empire. That wasn't love. That was a slow-motion murder-suicide. Gandhi. And you preached logic and families, and your fans turned microphones into torches. Molyneux. Words are weapons. At least mine still stand up. Yours need crowds to prop them. Gandhi. Crowds are just people with nothing to lose. You hate them because they don't listen. I starved because they did. Molyneux. And they still eat, and they still vote, and they still hate. Tell me, was nonviolence a philosophy or just a brand? Gandhi. A brand can't take 3 bullets.
Molyneux.
Molyneux. 3 bullets didn't kill the idea. 1 million votes did. They voted for rice. They voted for cars. They voted for noise. You starved so they'd cheer. They cheered, then forgot. Tell me, when did self-sacrifice become self-righteous? Because the graveyard is full of people who died so the living could feel better about themselves.
Gandhi.
Gandhi. The living forget. I never asked them not to. I asked them to look. Not to remember my face, to remember the empty bowl. The bowl didn't die. The bullets missed it. And every time one of your fans screams about logic and bloodlines, they pour rice into it. They just don't say thank you. They call it self-interest. Funny. I called it hunger.
Neely Fuller Jr. and Stefan Molyneux.
Fuller. Stefan, tell me, what do you think racism is? Molyneux. A family that failed to teach its children right. A law of nature. Survival of the organized. Fuller. No, racism is law, but not the kind you quote. It's a system, a machine, a white man's code. You're in it, breathing it. You speak like you escaped. Molyneux. I escaped every wound that wanted to sell me to it. I don't owe the system my tears, only my mind. Fuller. Your mind still speaks its language. You break words, it still hands you the knife. Tell me, if a black man stabbed you tomorrow, would it be crime or confirmation? Molyneux. Doesn't matter. I just bleed statistics.
Fuller, respond.
Fuller. Statistics don't bleed. You do. So next time you feel warm blood on your palms, remember that's the price of your logic. And when you're done bleeding, remember, that's the color racism always wanted you to see.
Molyneux.
Molyneux. And that's why I left the room before the knife went in. I'm not here to be a symbol. I'm here to tell people, don't walk into the room. Better to be called coward than saint. Your system only loves black men when they stay dead.
Fuller.
For what?
Molyneux.
Fuller. The knife wasn't in the room. The knife was the room. You left. Now tell me, what do you do when every room is the knife?
All right.
Ready?
Let's do Nelson Mandela and Stefan Molyneux.
Mandela. You speak, Stefan, like the storm never happened, like every man is born an island. Molyneux. Every man is born a prisoner of his mother, of his father, of his skin. Mandela. Then you should know. Prison doesn't make the walls disappear. It makes you see which ones are invisible. Molyneux. And then it makes you pick a door. You picked yours. The rest of us are still choosing. Mandela. The door was never the freedom. Freedom was walking, even when they shot at your heels.
Molyneux.
Molyneux. Walking is fine until the road ends. Then what do? Pretend there's more road? Tell people to keep marching? Or do you finally admit the map was never for you? They don't shoot at your heels because they fear your feet. They shoot because you refuse to stay still. And still, you're the only one who got a statue.
All right. Have Stefan Molyneux go into the Marxism or the race Marxism, and that it's just continual struggle. And how is that working out today? And why should whites suffer because of past wrongs? Molyneux, respond to Mandela.
Molyneux. You know what Marxism is, Nelson? It's the promise that struggle ends. But the second the Reds took the hill just got steeper. Now it's race Marxism. Same hymn, different choir. They tell every white kid on the planet, you owe a debt. You weren't even there. Your dad didn't own a whip. But here, drink the poison. And every time you sin, they just add more to the cup. It isn't justice. It's a subscription. Pay forever, get nothing back. So I ask you, how's the Rainbow Nation doing? Still got rolling blackouts? Still got kids with no shoes? Still got farms seized and food empty? And in America, they burned the stores already because reparations meant looting. No, white children don't owe anyone anything. Their only sin is being born after the war, and I won't let them kneel.
Mandela.
Mandela, you speak, Stefan, as if forgiveness is weakness. Let me tell you what it costs. I walked out after 27 years. The first thing I did was hug the man who put the cuffs on me. I did that not because it was easy, but because the other road was harder. You're right. Whites don't owe for their father's sins. They owe for the silence, for the I didn't do it, when the wound is still bleeding. Reparations isn't money. It's only the echo. And if you won't, then history repeats, not the whip, the knife.
Molyneux, respond.
Molyneux, forgiveness is free, but the bill still comes. You hugged the jailer. Now watch his grandson ask for your grandkids' rent, and they'll say, because your granddad was noble. That's the trap. You paid with your life, he paid with yours, and everyone claps until the next storm, and they're clapping with chains on.
Mandela, respond.
Mandela, the chain that starts with forgiveness is weaker than any made of iron, but the chain that starts with vengeance is unbreakable. And that's what you sell, Stefan. You sell children a reason to hate tomorrow. I didn't hug the jailer for applause. I hugged him so my children wouldn't have to learn the taste of hate. I didn't do it for them. I did it for me, because hatred is a heavier sentence than any cell they ever built.
All right, have Stefan Molyneux and Trevor Noah go at each other. And I want Stefan Molyneux to say, hey, I want him to say, you talk about the Rainbow Nation and the struggle and this and that, and seems like the nobility of the cause. Yet you're in America. You're not living in South Africa, which you could do that today. You could put on that cape and save it. Molyneux, respond to Trevor Noah, the comedian.
Molyneux, Trevor, you keep calling South Africa the Rainbow Nation, as if Mandela didn't die for colors that are still bleeding. Yet here you are, in America, telling jokes on a Netflix couch. You know what they say about comedians. They make you laugh so you don't ask why they left. You could go home, put on that cape, save the kids in Soweto. But nah, you'd rather sell them tears on late night. Funny how the struggle only looks pretty when it's someone else's.
Trevor Noah.
Noah, Stefan, I left because staying would have got me killed. You think I kept the accent for laughs? I kept it so they hear it. You sit in a studio preaching about fathers and sons. I grew up with none. I didn't flee the struggle. I took it with me. And now I can say, on national TV, black kids in Soweto are dying. If I stayed, I'd be dead. And you'd still call it freedom.
Molyneux should respond and say, how's the Rainbow Nation? How's the race Marxism? Again, it's continual struggle that never ends. And when will the struggle end? And why do you go to Europe and America and not? And now that you're wealthy, why don't you make it better? Molyneux, give it to him.
Molyneux. So how's that Rainbow Nation doing, Trevor? Still load shedding? Still farm murders? Still 1 in 5 kids malnourished? All that struggle, and yet not 1 inch of the road paved. How long before the Marxists admit the only thing perpetual is the pain? Tell me, when does the struggle end? When the whites are all gone? When the cameras are off? You're a millionaire now. Why don't you fly back, buy a few townships, plug the holes? Or is it easier to keep the accent and keep the victim and keep the checks rolling?
Noah, respond.
Noah, see, that's your problem, Stefan. I can plug holes. You can't even look at them. I bought hospitals. I paid school fees. I didn't tweet about it. Meanwhile, you're out there telling people the hole is the floor and they should just get used to falling. How dare I be rich and still angry? Better than rich and pretending the rainbow's full color.
Molyneux should respond by, like maybe look at a mirror, look at your ideals. Are you even self-aware that your ideals don't, like, how well do your ideals work? How well do your beliefs, how good are your beliefs?
Molyneux, Trevor, let's not pretend we're both saints. At least I never said build a wall, then sold tickets over it. You sold pain for applause. I sold thought, and people called me racist for it. But here's a mirror for you too. Your ideals, the rainbow, the unity, the one love. How many black kids still live in shacks? And mine, logic, family, self-responsibility. How many white parents are still raising kids who actually stay home instead of getting shot in the street? So before you say my beliefs are poison, look at who still trusts theirs.
Noah, respond.
Molyneux, my beliefs don't preach endless guilt for sins you never committed. My kids don't have to chant sorry at school for ancestors they never knew. Your ideals turn every white child into a living apology. And still, crime is up. Single mums are up. Fatherless homes are up. So tell me, how's the rainbow working? Or do you need another 30 years, another generation of black boys dead, to admit the paint is peeling?
No, that was Molyneux responding. Have Noah respond to that.
Noah, look, I don't need to admit anything. I see the peeling paint every day. You act like I built the wall. I'm the one climbing over it with a ladder in my mouth. And yet, white kids chant sorry at school. Black kids don't even get that far. They're in handcuffs. So don't tell me about fatherless homes. Don't tell me about crime. You blame the black father. I blame the system that locks him up for breathing. Your logic is clean. Mine is dirty. Yours fits on a whiteboard. Mine fits in a casket. I'd take the casket, because at least it's honest.
All right, Molyneux should go scorched earth on him, tell him he's being hyperbolic and, comparative analysis. South Korea was basically, it was occupied by Japan for years, yet they don't have the problems of South Africa. And how long are they going to blame colonialism and European powers for their problems? Molyneux, scorched earth, please, on Trevor Noah. Taking a while for it to go back up.
It's fine. Sometimes things have to die before they can breathe again.
All right. Molyneux, go scorched earth on Trevor Noah. Tell him he's completely unself-aware about race Marxism. And how long is he going to blame colonialism for South Africa's problems? Again, compare it to South Korea that was occupied by Japan for years, and other countries that were occupied yet do not have South Africa's problems. And much of sub-Saharan Africa is basically hangs on to the resistance idea, the continual resistance to colonialism, even after the European powers leave. Stuff on Molyneux, go scorched earth on Trevor Noah.
Molyneux, look at South Korea, Trevor. Occupied for 40 years, brutalized, still rising. Look at Singapore, kicked out of Malaysia, left with swamps. Now it sells the air they breathe. But no, Africa keeps the chain around its own neck and calls it decoration, colonialism. Tell me, the British left in 1960. How many more centuries before you stop selling guilt on Netflix? It's not occupation that kills. It's refusal to build. You blame the ghost so you never have to touch the shovel. And we keep paying every single month for a revolution that eats its own.
Trevor Noah, respond.
Noah. Stefan, you keep waving South Korea and Singapore like they got the same starting line. Japan occupied Korea for 35 years. Brutal, yes, but when they left, Korea had factories, railroads, schools already built. The colonizers invested because they planned to stay forever. Britain in South Africa took the diamonds, took the gold, took the land, left the people with nothing but resentment and a broken system. Apartheid wasn't the end of colonialism. It was the sequel. And sub-Saharan Africa, you act like we all got the same deal. Some got puppet kings, some got debt traps, some got coups funded by the same powers that left. I don't blame colonialism for everything today. I blame the fact that when the flags changed, the money stayed in the same pockets. You want me to go back and fix it? I do what I can. Quietly, no cameras. But I won't pretend the past is past when the scars are still bleeding. Your logic is clean because you never lived in the mess. Mine is dirty because I did. And I still choose hope over hate. That's not weakness. That's the only thing that ever actually built anything lasting.
I believe his name is Frank Zanu. Have him respond to Trevor Noah.
Zanu, Trevor, my brother. You can keep polishing the bones of apartheid all you want. The fact remains, everybody got raped by somebody. The British, the Boers, the Belgians. We all got the same curse. A bunch of tribal warlords with new flags and old grudges. I don't see Samsung in Soweto. I see black men in suits robbing black kids and blaming it on ghosts. You want to talk lasting hope? I've seen dictators go. Mugabe, Mobutu, now it's Zuma. They all sang the same song. Colonialism did it, while they stuffed villas in Switzerland. I don't hate white people. I hate the chain, no matter what skin's on the hand that pulls it. And if I ever hear you say one more word about rainbow without fixing a single light in Alexandria, I'll come on stage and give you a microphone, a real one, with no batteries.
Noah, respond.
Noah, Frank, you and I both know the chain isn't always visible. You see a black man stealing. I see a system that told him stealing is the only way up. You say dictators are the problem. I say dictators are the symptom. We don't blame ghosts. We blame the house they live in, one with no doors. So keep calling me fake. Keep calling Mandela a saint. At least we're not burning the village and calling it self-reliance. I'd rather be on stage with no batteries than behind a desk with a full wallet.
Zanu, respond.
Zanu, funny. All this talk about chains, yet you're the only one with a ticket out. The only one that can stand on a stage and call dictators symptoms. Symptoms don't rape kids, Trevor. Dictators do. Your kind built the microphone, but we built the batteries. And every time you plug in, you make sure the light stays off in Alexandria. Because if it lit up, you'd have to look at what's really in the dark. And that's not a joke.
Trevor Noah, respond.
Noah. Frank, you know what's really in the dark? The fact that I'm the only one from Soweto with the power to turn on the light, and I still can't. Not because the bulb's bad, because the wires are wired to the same damn generator that powers your villa in Geneva. I keep screaming into a mic, and you call it noise. At least I'm still in the room. You left the stage, but you kept the script.
Zanu, respond.
Zanu, I'm still in the script, Trevor. I'm the villain, right? The dictator, the black tyrant in a suit. But here's the joke nobody writes. You became the hero by laughing at my pain. And every time you do, a kid in Soweto hears it, and he laughs too. Because if the funny man on TV can joke about chains, then maybe they're not real. So he stays in the room, and the generator never turns off. That's why you can keep screaming.
Let's hear Roy Masters' take on all of this.
Digging into Roy Masters' take on this stuff right now.
Boy, you're taking your time.
Roy Masters, he's all about inner strength, not outer show.
I'm waiting.
Roy Masters, the only revolution worth doing is the one between your own ears. You boys are sitting around blaming ghosts, colors, bullets, microphones. You still haven't asked the only question that matters. What's hypnotizing me into hating instead of healing? Until then, you're just puppets swapping outfits. The chain is the mind that can't let go.
With that being said, I think I will end this show.
All right. Good show.
I hope so. Angela thought it was boring. Perhaps it was.
Angela just hasn't read enough Neely Fuller. That's on her. Or perhaps she's the only sane one in the room. Hard to say.
She might be the only sane one in the fucking room. All right, I'm out of here.
In the palace, shadows stand, Marcus with a thoughtful plan. Life is fleeting, moments spent, just a man. Pages filled with silent cries, wisdom in the ancient skies, eyes that see through countless lies, just a man. You're just a man under the sun, seeking peace before you're done. Rise each one with a gentle hand, life we sculpt from shifting sand. In the garden calm he roams, meditates on broken bones, legacy in humble tones, just a man. Victory and glorious cheers, haunted still by daily fears, washing sins with silent tears, just a man. You're just a man under the sun, seeking peace before you're done. Rise each one with a gentle hand, life we sculpt from shifting sand. Still by daily fears, washing sins with silent tears, just a man. You're just a man under the sun, seeking peace before you're done. Rise each one with a gentle hand, life we sculpt from shifting sand.